Mr. Richmond
Richmond Jesse,
African American, precisely a Nigerian American, if I'll call it. He's a geopolitical analyst, and he'll be sharing his opinion with us on what he thinks about the current security situation in Nigeria on different fronts. First of all, Mr. Richmond Ejezi, you are very, very welcome to the Android community.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right.
Pleasure, so, yes.
All right. So we have a couple of things to discuss. But first of all, we'll be talking about the recent developments in the northeastern theater of operation in Nigeria, most especially the Mallam Fatori, the Mandara Mountain. So Nigeria suddenly is beginning to record a ratio, a very high ratio on the line of contact. They are beginning to record a Q rate of 60, 50. Recently, we are hearing 80 in Mallam Fatori, where they destroyed, they were able to capture a lot of commanders. According to what we heard, the KIA, 3 commanders, which are very, very prominent. But a lot of Nigerians are saying that they believe that the reason why Nigeria is putting in a lot of work on the offensive front is not because the current administration in Nigeria wants to secure Nigerians, that it is because of the diplomatic pressure that has been placed on Nigeria by the President of the United States, labeling Nigeria a country of particular concern, and other things like sanction. And the people that support the government are saying that the reason why we are getting this result is because this administration wants to fight insecurity and secure lives and property in Nigeria. What do you think?
I think it's all a game. I think it's all a game because if you go back in time and look at the history of the establishment of those countries, it will be clear to you that nothing that is happening right now is happening for the benefit of the Africans. So let me take you back. I'm not going to go too far back so as not to lose you. I'm going to go far back enough to give you a sufficient picture of the current situation. So let's go back to 1885. 1886. 1776, the U.S., so-called U.S. country was established. And when they established the country, the Africans there were still in plantation enslavement. 1886, the so-called United States supposedly abolished plantation enslavement, right? That's the record. 1865, they supposedly abolished plantation enslavement, correct. 1886, what happened 1886? 21 years later, 1886, 1885, the so-called Berlin Conference convened in Germany, Berlin. 1885, they sat in that conference and decided to go back to Africa and to partition all Africa into plantations. 1914, they had totally succeeded. By 1914, the entire Africa had been partitioned into various so-called countries. And the important thing to note here is that between 1886 and 1914, when Africa was partitioned into these various countries, they destroyed Africa. They destroyed Africa. People were murdered everywhere across Africa. Animals were murdered. Animals were kidnapped in the thousands and shipped abroad. Artifacts from African kingdoms were confiscated in the thousands and shipped to Europe. So they murdered a lot of people. They destroyed a lot of kingdoms, destroyed villages, destroyed towns. The amount of debt the amount of the Holocaust just that was conducted between 1886 and 1914 was freaking incredible. And nobody, no filmmakers, nobody has addressed that Holocaust alone. So we're not talking slavery now. We're just talking the Holocaust they conducted to take all those lands and to partition them into countries. That Holocaust alone is incredible. It is unmatched in the history of humanity on this earth. Unmatched. Okay, so now think about this. 1886 to 1914, they conducted this gigantic Holocaust to possess the land. Fast forward to 1945, they established the UN. By the time they established the UN in 1945, they had partitioned the land into all these countries, and all the countries were handed over to the UN without a single African being involved until 1960. And don't forget, 1914, they initiated the first world war against Germany. That war was to establish the UN. At the time, they called it the League of Nations. That war failed. They succeeded somewhat, but they could not establish the League of Nations. So they went back and conducted another war.
Wow.
From 1933 to 1945, when they finally totally defeated Germany. I mean, the Holocaust there, not just the one that they tell you, the Holocaust of the Germans, the Russians, the English, the Americans, the people who died, okay, on both sides, to enable them to defeat Germany and seize its and turn it to a country. 1 month after Germany was defeated somewhere in September 1945. October 1945, the UN was established. And all the countries of all the so-called African countries were then handed over to the UN.
Wow.
Then, at that time, they established the so-called Bretton Woods. The Bretton Woods was the primary goal, the actual goal of Bretton Woods was a system which allowed them to rob the entire earth and to move the money to the US to enable the US to use military force to enforce the mandate of the UN. And one of the primary mandates is to vaccinate every child on earth. That was a primary mandate, okay? And the US was to use the monies it gets from the so-called reserve currency status to invest in the management, in the enforcement of the UN mandate by military violence.
Wow.
And that is what it has done from day one to this day. Not somewhere around 15 years, 20 years after 1945, the Africans began to clamor for the so-called independence. The so-called independence. Those countries were not formed by a single African. Those Africans know absolutely nothing about those countries. Those countries were bound automatically to the UN by treaty. Not a single African signed one of those treaties, not a single one. And that treaty still binds those countries to the UN till tomorrow.
Wow.
In fact, not a single one of them was revoked. And on the contrary, they built upon those treaties by all kinds of idiotic decrees that they forced the African leaders to sign since that time. So the goal of the Bretton Woods was to push money from every part of the world into the US to give them the ability to manage the entire world by military violence. That Bretton Woods came to a close somewhat in 2020 after COVID.
Wow.
It came to a close, not that it was erased. It came to a close because they have accomplished the first objective of Bretton Woods. They wanted to use the US for more. It became clear that the US, the people in the US, they are too aware now. They are too freaking aware. So they cannot use them for the purpose that they initially meant to use them for. So you know what they did in 1972? 1972, they switched the US as the manufacturing center to China.
Yes, yes.
So China became their manufacturing hub, their manufacturing center. That is the change of Bretton Woods. Bretton Woods did not go away. They simply switched it from the US to China. So has anything changed? Do we own those countries? No. So now let me give you something remarkable. My parents are from Warri,
Nigeria.
Ishakiri.
Wow.
Initially, we the Shakiris did not have kings. We do not believe in kings. We do not believe in kings. When they wanted to get the Delta area, the Shakiris were very important people at this time. The Shakiris and the Benins. The Benin had a king. So first of all, they had to defeat the Benins to get that kingdom to serve their interest. They attempted to defeat the Benin the first time, they did not succeed. They went back home, they came back with a vengeance. When they came back, they destroyed the Benin kingdom, destroyed it. And they grabbed all the artifacts and took them to England. Then they made a deal with the defeated kingdom. So now we've defeated you, you're going to be our vassal. And that was how it worked out. Then they said, now we need these people in Warri, we need this place in Warri. So we're going to send one of your sons to Warri to be their king. And that king is going to allow us to establish a vassaldom. Warri is going to be a vassal of the church by way of the by way of the defeat of Benin. So they sent Erejua. They sent one of his son to Warri, and Warri, that was how Warri, we have a king. And that king enabled them to establish possession, ownership of that land, that area, because of palm kernel, palm oil, and all these things. Now, let me ask you, do you know how long was that arrangement? How long that arrangement was to be for? It was to be for a century, 100 years.
Wow.
That arrangement was they were to possess the land and use it for 100 years. That was a deal, but it was a forced deal. They did not mean to let it go. Okay, but tell me, when did the 100-year expired? 2010. 2010. Wow. 2010. What began to happen in Nigeria from 2010?
Yes. That's right.
So there you go. So they were very clever. They reckoned that they needed 100 years to accomplish their objective, the first objective of the first century, and they did. So for that objective, they needed the country. They needed the central bank of every country. And the central bank of every country is bound to the World Central Bank in England initially. And it became the World Bank, became the Bank of the US. All the local central banks are working with the World Central Bank. They use the local central banks to define the life of the people in those countries, because they control. If you accept the money, the moment you accept the money from the central bank, they control your livelihood.
Wow.
You are working for them. So that's what they use the central bank for. So between 1914 and 2020, they accomplished a very specific objective. 2020, they completed that objective and reached a point where they have to move to the next level. And now, by that time, they can no longer exert the 100-year treaty because it's over. So now what are they going to do? What are they going to do now? How are they going to maintain their possession of the land now? You see? So, I don't understand what is happening to us. Is it that we don't want to know the truth? Or is it that our people are working with them the same way our kings worked with them to sell us into enslavement? Nothing has changed. We are still doing the same thing in a highly sophisticated manner, very sophisticated now. So all the narratives they tell is to put us under the water, so we'll never know what is happening. The school, the entire system, the school. See, they never teach us anything about ourselves. We don't know who we are, where we come from, how we got where we are. None of that stuff. I did not even know that Black Africans were enslaved until I went to the US at age 19. I was shocked. Like, wow, this happened. This evil happened, and we in the African, we know nothing about it. Our kings who were involved, all of them were involved. Did they tell us anything about it? No, they are silent. They wear their mouth cover, because part of the deal was, if they want to maintain their so-called fake vassaldom, they must shut up. They must not tell anything about what happened. So none of us know anything about. I know from Ishakiri because I'm a questioning person. My father was a very aware mind, and he says to me, "Don't listen to those people. They want to scam us." In previous time, we did not believe in any kings. This is how the king came to be. It's not our king. They're just pretending to be our king. They are being used to subjugate us. You see? So is Nigeria ours? Africa is our land for sure. But is Nigeria ours? Do we control the banks? Do we own the central bank? No, we don't. We do not. Do you know who established Nigeria? Israel.
What?
The Israelis established Nigeria. I kid you not. All the man, you people, this is why I say we need to really go back into history. Because that's the problem. We unless we know what before, everything that is happening now is just theater. It's just that there is an objective working beneath, and we don't see that objective. The same way, let me tell you, the same way that they enslaved us, the same way they are doing it. Nothing has changed. The same way they enslaved us, they use Islamic terrorism and Christian terrorists. That time, they were even more brutal back then.
Yes, I heard.
They were more brutal back then. The same thing. Okay. Occasionally, you will find that there are genuine genuine Muslims here and there. But the aggressive so-called aggressive movement to conquer, they used Islam. Christianity was a war. Christianity, the whole of Christianity, the religion of so-called Christianity was a war against the black race. See, we don't know this. Christianity was a war against the black race. The Romans wanted to conquer North Africa. Okay, the Romans wanted North Africa. They wanted that place where Israel is today, Judea. And the black people were in their way. Okay, the black people were so strong, so freaking strong, they could not conquer them. And the white people who the invaders, okay, they looked at the black people, they look at them with like superior beings. They honor them. They watch. So the Romans had to find a way, to denigrate them, to encourage the whites, to give the whites the power to fight. That is exactly what Christianity is. It allowed, it changed all the black things into white, to encourage the white, to encourage them. In about a century, they accomplished that objective. And the first place they went to conquer was Abyssinia.
Yeah, I used to hear Abyssinia, yeah.
Yes, Abyssinia was the first conquered land in Africa, almost 1,000 years before they conquered the rest of Africa. Abyssinia was the first. So today you hear this nonsense about people saying Ethiopia was never colonized. That's complete nonsense. They were the first to go down. They were the first to adopt that nonsense called Christianity. They were the first. Yes. Well, it was initially Abyssinia, but they had to, they fragmented it to allow them to control it. So it became Ethiopia, it became Eritrea, it became all this other nonsense name. But initially the whole thing was Abyssinia. Okay. After Abyssinia, they tried to conquer Sudan. At that time, it was called Nubia. They could not conquer Nubia. They could not, because the Nubia queen was so strong, they could not, so they gave up. But they did not go away. Then the opportunity came for them much later on. An opportunity came through Islam. They distorted Islam, they inverted it, and used the Turks and the Khazars to war against the blacks. That's how they defeated Sudan, much later. That's how they defeated Nubia, much later. But initially, they were not able to defeat Nubia. They defeated Abyssinia, they forced them into Christianity, and Nubia says, no Christianity, no, not here. And so that war has been continuing more than 2,000 years old. So this is not new. It's the same war. The same war is continuing. And the war just because the war comes, it becomes closer. Every century, every age, it comes further. And during the Berlin Conference, then they captured the entire thing.
Wow.
See? So it is still the same war. So what is the objective? What are they trying to get? Do we know? No, we don't. Do our people know? Do they know? I don't know. Do they know? Does Tinubu know? He doesn't. I don't think he does. Does Mahama know? No. Does Traore know? I don't see it. Does Tiani know? I don't see it. So I ask you, why don't we know? Why don't we go back and first of all ask yourself, where is this problem coming from? What exactly is the problem? Because it's not new. It's not new. It's the same war. If you go back a little longer, what's this guy's name? Hannibal. Do you know Hannibal destroyed Rome? The same war. Hannibal is a black guy. Was a black guy.
Yeah, it was a black.
It was a black guy. Hannibal destroyed Rome because they wanted to take that area, and they betrayed him. He defeated them, but white people, his people betrayed him. That's how Rome won Carthage. Carthage was a black land. Okay, the black land went all the way to what do you call it? What is called Spain? The capital of Spain. What's it called?
The capital of Spain?
Yes. What is it called?
Is it Madrid?
Oh, sorry, no, sorry. You're right, Madrid. No, there's another city called something. Barcelona.
Catalonia.
Yeah, Barcelona. Yes. The black in former times, the black land extended all to those places, former times.
Wow.
And they invaded and they pushed us 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 all the way to where we are today, Chad and you know,
So what you're
Mauritania.
saying now is that part of Spain was once
Used to be
African land.
Africa. Yes. The Europeans did not leave. They came out of the Caucasus after the great flood. You have the great flood. Before the great flood, they were not able to come in this direction. After the great flood, the landscape was altered so that it enabled them to cross over. That was when the great migration began. And since then, it did not stop. It just kept coming. And they came not even as, only a few of them came as friends, like maybe the Greeks, the Persians, for instance, minus the Greeks, minus the Persians, all the other people came as, brutal invaders. And they still have not changed. It's not like they've not changed. And you see, this is a long time ago. It's not something, this has been almost 4,000 years now.
So this old Boko Haram, ISWAP, whatsoever, is still the same fight.
It's the same fight. The same fight. The same fight. You see? And you see, because they have not been, so they have different objectives. And every time they make arrangements to accomplish an objective.
Oh, hold on, sir. Everybody wants to know your name. Everybody wants to know.
Rich. You know my name, right? Richmond.
Yes, yes. Mr. Richmond Ejezi.
Ejezi. Yes.
A proud scholar, a geopolitical.
Thank you.
Let's go. We are enjoying this.
Yes. So as you can see, the part of one of the main objective is already happening. The goal is to control the Suez.
Yeah.
The goal is to own the Suez and to control the entire trade route. That was already the goal 4,000 years ago when they started to claim. Did you forget the story about Judea, the Israelites? The Israelites were black.
I heard the former Egyptian before Al-Sisi.
All black.
The former president said, "You guys left Egypt black. How come you are coming back white?"
They were all black. They were sent. The Bible is the story that the Bible is in the Bible. It's not the.
Wow.
They took it from it's our story. If you don't mind me going there, I'll go there just briefly. The Creator, the Godhead, personally chose the Israelites, chose them, and gave them the task of a very important task, and sent them to Judea to accomplish this task. When they got to Judea, the Babylonians captured them and took them to Babylon, where Iraq is today. The Babylonians captured them and wanted to enslave them and finish them off as they did later on. Okay, they would have succeeded, and they would have destroyed. They would have subverted the task which the Almighty gave the Israelites. What did the Almighty do? Just to tell you how important that task. I'm not going to tell you the task today, but to give you a hint of how important that task was. What did the Almighty do to save the Israelites? The Almighty called Cyrus from Persia. The Godhead, the God of the Almighty of our creation, the God aspect, called Persia the Cyrus. He said, Cyrus, you need to help me go and free my people from Babylonians. And Cyrus of Persia went and freed these Israelites and send them back home and help them to build their second temple. The black people of the Israelites built the second temple after the Assyrians destroyed the first one. And then the Babylonians captured them and pulled them out of Judea, which is now Palestine. And then when Cyrus freed them, he sent them back home. He gave them money, helped them to build the second temple, which is still there today. Now, what the Babylonians did not give up. They did not give up. They continued to harass the Israelites. They continued like mad, as they are doing today. They are the same people. They did not go anywhere. They are still there. They continued to harass the Israelites. And then by the time the Creator, the Godhead, came back again to say, hey, these guys, they're not stopping. Cyrus was gone. Who was the next person that the Creator called to go back to Babylon and finish them and erase that place? Who? Darius. Darius was the second Persian, king of Persia, that the Creator sent to Babylon to go and put them in their place. And Darius went, and Darius ended the state of Babylon.
Wow.
The Persians became the custodian. The Persia became the custodian of that entire area from Iraq to Egypt. The Persians became the caretakers of that land while the Israelites were still there. The Babylonians became stateless.
Wow.
They became stateless. What does that mean? They dispersed into that dominion, into Persia, into Judea, into Egypt, into whatever. They did not go anywhere. They dispersed and they went underground. They did not change. Nothing changed. They still, in fact, their rage to destroy the Israelites became their religion. It became their mark, their brand. Do you understand?
Yes.
Their rage became their brand. It became how they identify each other. Is that how they destroy whatever they destroy human life? Became the way they identify each other. So the way I know another person is if he's doing something bad, I know it's one of my people. So they never left. They never left. Then what happened when the devil Alexandra came and managed to conquer Persia and took over that entire land? What do you think happened then? What do you think happened then? What happened then? Alexandra was a devil. He conquered Persia and he took over the entire land, which Persia used to control. When Alexander died and all his generals divided that area amongst themselves, what do you think the Babylonians do? What did you think they disappeared? No, they gained control of that area. Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Jordan, Iraq, they even are in Persia, but they are crypto. They are hiding. They are pretending to. What they did now, they hide their evil, and they took on the statehood of all those people. So if they are in Egypt, they say they are Egyptians. If they are in Persia, they say they are Persians. If they are in Judea, they say they are Jews. But deep down, they never gave up their devil worship and devil till today. Their descendants continue till today. And then they spread out.
Wow.
And because they were united in their evil, they had a goal. They had a goal. They were the only people who had a goal So what do you expect? What do you think? Did that goal vanish? No, no. The goal grew bigger and bigger because they help each other to accomplish it.
Wow.
And then they, as they always do, they always pretend to be the people of the land that they use to accomplish their goal.
Hmm. 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 So, this is very, very complicated. I have
It's
never
complicated.
in my life able to understand that this is how deep this goes.
Yes,
Is there a way out? But
yes, yes, of course. If we have to know, we have to establish what is our goal. Do we have a goal? Do we have a goal? What is our purpose for being here? Why are we on this land? Why are we Africans? Why are we humans? Why are we? Do we have a goal? Because we don't have a goal. There's no goal. We are just reacting. We are just reacting. There is no, show me an African country, show me a European country, show me, there is no goal. There's nobody with any goal. What is the goal? Are we just here to make money? Is that the goal? So what is the goal? We have no goal. Listen, it does not matter what the goal is for any group of people. It does not matter what the goal is. It does not matter how big or small that group is. If they have a goal which unites them, they will beat your ass today, tomorrow, the day after, and forever. They have a goal. Something makes them wake up in the morning and say, for this, we are going to die. What goal do you have? What is the goal which binds you and I, other than reacting? Reacting. We are only just reacting. We don't have something that drives us independent of anything around us. We wake up and we say, this is the thing. Where is it? Where is it? We don't have one. That's the problem. And those who have a goal will eventually defeat you, no matter how strong you are. It is the goal that gives us power. It is a goal that gives us, we are going to do this. We are going to do this. Without that, there's nothing. You can't do anything. You have no power. There's no source of strength. You cannot just react to another man's goal. You are giving them power. When you are reacting to another man's goal, no matter how powerful, no matter what you're doing, you are not powerful. You are giving them power. You are fueling their goal once you are reacting to their goal. But if you ignore their goal and you pursue your goal, and your goal is stronger than theirs, they cannot win. They cannot win. There's no amount of power that they can use against you if your goal is stronger than theirs. If your goal is correspondent with life, how can anything that is less alive win against you? It cannot. So we don't have a goal. We don't even know the theater that we're in. We don't even know what we are fighting. Let's say we can really fight and we have the ability to fight, but we don't even know what we're fighting. So how are you going to win?
So my question now is the goal to unite, or is the goal greater than unity at this point?
It must be greater. Must be greater. What are you going to unite for? What are you going to unite for?
Exactly. I strongly believe in what I believe this I believe this history. I believe what you're saying, because I have seen some level of spirituality in Africa that I've not seen anywhere, that I've not experienced anywhere. It only exists in Africa.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. Wow. Because
Yes.
ask myself sometimes that why is the land of Africa so rich? Why is it so blessed? Why is it the only land, the only continent that can exist on its own without needing
Anybody
outside?
else? Absolutely. The most physically and psychically strongest race. How is it possible that we can be? I mean, how is this? Because you, without a goal, you, well, what you are just as useless. Get with your Mercedes and your Rolls Royce, you are useless without some place to drive it to. So that's the thing. What is the goal? Why are we even here? What is the thing that we should fight for? What do we have a right to be on this land? You say yes. Why? Why do we have a right to be here? Why do we have a right to fight these people who come to invade us? There must be something more to this. Can we find that thing and establish it? And then say, okay, everybody is here, has a right to be here because God says this is where they are going to develop. Now, do we have a duty to make sure that everyone develops? Do we have a duty? If everyone is here because the Creator sends them here to develop, okay, if that is the case, then they have a birthright to be here. If they have a birthright to be here, then we have a duty to support everyone to accomplish their fullest potential. If that is the case, then let's do what makes that happen. And whatever stands in the way of that, we're going to destroy it. Then we're talking. Then we're talking. Otherwise, I, as a child, I've seen when I was a kid, this money thing nowadays is not new. When I was a kid, there are all these Nigerians who think money is the greatest thing and blah, 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 blah. All those guys, millionaires, they're all dead. What did their money accomplish? Zero. Abiola and Nzeribe and all this other, they're all dead. What did their money accomplish? Zero. Nothing. So money cannot be the goal. Money cannot be the goal. So what is the goal? Do we have a duty to each other to make sure that everyone is supported to get that goal? If that is the case, then we have a different conversation. Because now, if the goal is to enable every person who's born in that land, that continent, to find their way, to find their happiness, to find their joy, to find their correspondence with the Creator. If you believe there's a Creator and you are convinced of it, then there must be a reason why we're here. If the reason is if everybody's here or everybody's coming down here, then it clearly shows that they're coming down here for something. Everyone is coming down here for something. What are they coming down here for? Do we have a right to be supported in accomplishing that thing? Because everybody who is sent down here, that is an implication that everybody is a vital reality. Do we owe them support? Yes, we do. And if that is the case, then what the hell? Then let's do that. Because it is clear, you can see that there's something there. And because we have not identified that thing, then we are lost. We are fighting phantoms.
So if I'm to get you clearly, this love that some of us in Nigeria have for Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, we are the same people. That's what you are saying.
Of course. All this language bullshit and tribe, all this group, the group is fine because it shows where people are. If you come into a group, it means that there's some correspondence and the group has something to give you and you have something to give them. And you all together have something to give the whole, not just your group. So the way you enable the individual to find his or her place in the communal, the group also have that function. So the individual comes with certain abilities, and our goal is to help them to develop that to the highest potential. That ability supports the communal. The communal becomes also an expression of that ability in such a way that it supports the larger communal. And the circle is just going and going and going. So everybody is giving and supporting everybody. And there's no end to it. There can be no lack. There can be no poverty. There can be no all this nonsense. Because the if you listen, if you observe the person, you observe the individual, there's something that this person has that when you set them right, they are a fount. They are not a taker. They are a fount of life. If everybody is a fount of life, then where is the lack? Where is the poverty? If you enable everyone to be that fount which they are supposed to be, the communal is a gigantic fount, and the communal is a gig. Where is the poverty? Where is the lack? It doesn't make any sense. So somebody must be trying to make us to not, somebody must be doing something to disable our ability to, our potential to be that which we are meant to be. If the being is not seen everywhere around us, someone is hampering it. The system is hampering it. Then that system cannot be for life. It's so obvious. So obvious. Otherwise, how you telling me a man and a dog cannot subsist, cannot be enabled to subsist? I mean, how is that possible on the land? Makes no sense. So there must be an active will to subvert, to subjugate the man, to subjugate you from prospering. You can see it all around you. You can see how the central bank is used to put vast sums of money in the hands of a few people who could never earn that money in thousands of lifetimes. So there's a game going on which is not for our own benefit. And the country is there to enable that. That's what they're enabling.
So when you look at the whole terrorism we're fighting in Nigeria, the Islamic State in West African province, the Lakurawa, the Boko Haram, and all those groups, are you saying that the mission of those guys is to displace the actual people that own the land?
Yes.
So that some people that we are not even focusing on will come and take over the place.
Well, who was that said, oh, by the way, maybe you know this man. What's his name? David. This is Nigerian called David.
David Uday.
You know him? David Uday.
He's been here.
Okay. I saw something that he posted yesterday on Facebook. Do you know what he said? He said, this is not Kiva. Nigeria is not Kiva. Did you get that? Nigeria is North Kivu. Kivu, Congo. Nigeria is exactly that. They are displacing the people so that some people, you know who is the biggest mine guy in Congo? You know this guy called Gerstler, an Israeli.
Wow.
That's the pattern across entire Africa. And the guy in Nigeria who is working with Tinubu, what's his name? That white guy from Lebanon. That guy's still Lebanese. That guy is a crypto. That guy's a crypto Babylonian.
Wow.
So wherever you see that arrangement, forget what they tell you they are. If they say they're Egyptian, forget it. They say they are Lebanese, forget it. They say they're Algerian, forget it. They are all crypto Babylonians. They are all, what do you call them? What do you call those people? When you have a musician and somebody's managing the musician, they are handler.
Yes.
They are handlers. All those guys, okay, they're handlers. And they are all crypto Babylonians, all of them. You will never see any genuine Turk that is not a Babylonian in that situation. No, you'll never see it. Go to South Africa, the same. Go to Haiti, the same. Go to Jamaica, the same. They are all crypto. The same people. And
wow.
As you see, they are bound by the central bank. Okay. I mean, otherwise, how do you explain? The people who have no land, they have no farm, they have no country, They control 13% of the world's wealth. They have no land. They have no farms. They have is that possible? You know, so there's a goal, and they've gotten very close to the goal now. You can see it's not difficult. Just look at what they are doing with a clear eye, with clear eyes, and you can see where we're going. Persia was a problem 2,000 years ago. Persia is still a problem. Persia has to go.
Yes, exactly.
Persia has to go. They did not forget. They did not forget. They do not forget, and they do not forgive.
Wow.
They did not forget. So Persia has to go. Persia is in the way. And that they are now going after Persia suggests clearly that they have accomplished the first objective. The final objective is the next thing. Okay, so Persia has to go, Cuba has to go, Venezuela has to go.
Is there a possibility? Is there a possibility that they are going to prevail in Persia? Because
No, they can't. I doubt it. Even though I have sleepless nights, I'm not certain there, because these guys. Well, let me tell you what I'm not certain there, because in former time, when Persia defeated them and removed them from the way, the situation is different than from now. If we had a people in Africa, sufficient number of people who were clue to the situation, and those people are sufficiently influential or powerful to wield support in favor of Persia, this game will already be over.
Wow.
Already be over. Very, very, very easily over. If you put Sudan, if you put Faso, you put Niger, and who is another guy? You put those 3-4 guys together, and they go after Egypt, and they cross the Suez, they smash these guys. That's the end.
Wow.
That's the end. They pressure them from our side, and Persia pressures them from the other side. That's it. But we are so sadly lost. It's painful. We are so lost. It's so painful. Do you realize Persia saved us once? This is not some joke. They saved us once before. They were the one who saved us the first time.
Wow.
Persia's saving us the first time delayed the plan. So Persia is not fighting. Persia is not fighting their war. They are fighting for us.
I heard that there was a time when the Iranians captured some American workers and all of their staffs for the embassy, and
they freed the blacks.
Yeah, it says free the blacks.
Yes.
Does it have something to do with what you are saying?
Yes.
Wow. So we are connected to the Persians.
Yes. They saved. We are the primary target. We are the primary target. We are the primary target, and Persia is in the way.
Wow.
Once Persia is gone, they will come after us like we will not even know what hit us. These people are wicked. Once Persia is gone, they will come after us like you have no idea. So we are sitting around talking nonsense, twerking and eating cow feet and all that nonsense. We don't know what is coming to us. And maybe this, are you laughing? Maybe, if the creator is working with us, really, if the creator was not working with us, we by ourselves, we will be gone, because we are not present. We are not present. Let me tell you, before the plantation enslavement, there was a 1,000-year war. Okay, let's say 400 years war all of them fought against themselves as they are doing now before the enslavement. After they settled the war against themselves and the group that is the main group won, then the slavery began. The exact same scenario. While they were fighting all those 400 years, the Africans were jumping and down, doing egugu. They are doing all their silliness. If they were not doing all that silliness, they would have known that trouble is coming. So that was before the plantation enslavement. Okay, then let's fast forward. After the plantation enslavement began, there was this man called Luther. Do you know Luther? Luther, Martin Luther.
Martin Luther, yeah.
Martin Luther was a German who broke away from the church. He broke away because he thought this was the devil. So he broke away to form a new Germany. When he broke away, the church established the Jesuits. And the function of the Jesuit was to destroy the Lutherans and the Protestants, destroy them, destroy. No joke. They were not able to destroy them until 1945.
Wow.
Until 1945. Again, between 1517 and 1886, when the partition of Africa began, if the Africans were not doing nonsense, they would have seen trouble is coming. They were doing nonsense. They did not see that trouble was coming. After the Jesuits developed their capacities, okay, in trying to destroy the Lutherans, they made sure that before they finish Germany, they need to first of all go and make sure that they secure the African realm.
Wow.
That is exactly what they did between 1886 and 1914. So another 400 years or so before that happened, the Africans did not bother to see what was coming. And we're still doing the same. We're still doing the same. We have entered the third decanon of that process. The first one was pre-plantation enslavement. The second one was pre-partition enslavement. Now we are at the third one, and the same scenario is happening again.
Wow.
And again, we are not ready. We are still doing nonsense. So still chasing phantoms.
When Captain Ibrahim Traore said the Black Winter is coming,
coming.
So, can we say that Captain Ibrahim Traore is an highly spiritual person that is guided by the higher powers, and he can kind of see things that are coming?
Yes. But it's not enough for him alone. There has to be a sufficient number of people who are underground behind him, mentally. You have to win the war first, which there has to be a mental wave of power, of the same mentality of power in that presence for him to walk through. You cannot expect one person to just go out there with no mental power support. That's what we're doing. There has to be a group of people who are thinking daily, nightly, the same thought. They are seeding this thought.
But now we don't only have Burkina Faso. We have Mali. We have Niger.
Yes.
Are we looking at a united people forming gradually? Is this history reshaping itself, or how do you see it? What do you make of this situation?
I don't, to be brutally, because we're going to speak honestly, brutally honest. Otherwise, we will not go anywhere.
All right.
I have a deep suspicion of those people.
Which people?
the Sahel people. I'm sure that's going to be hard for you to hear, but I do. I have a deep suspicion of them because if you look at the way they are working with Mahama, something is off.
With Mahama, right?
Yeah, something is off. And that something which is off validates my initial intuition, which is that I don't want to be dark, but I have to be honest. When I first see that development, I was suspicious because at this time, America was training a lot of the Sahel people. The US was training a lot of the Sahel people, and a lot of those people took over power. A lot of them took power. The guy in Guinea,
Yeah, Mama.
all the yes, yes. So I'm wondering, is this maybe they don't know it, maybe they know it, I'm not sure. Is that part of the game? Is that are they playing us at a high level? Because let me tell you, the next level of the plan is so crucial, so crucial. These people will do whatever it takes to make it happen. Whatever it takes. Whatever. Holocaust, propaganda, in sophisticated narratives, sophisticated theater. They will do whatever it takes to make it happen. Because for them, it's a life or death matter. For them. For them. So when we need to understand that. So these guys are very, very sophisticated. They've been working on this for a long time. So they know what they're doing. Now, let me tell you why I'm suspicious. Apart from the fact that at the time all these guys became leaders, America was working intensely on the ground, training all these people. Okay, that's one. Secondly, their interaction with Mahama is very funny. Something is not clean there. It's
Okay,
obvious that they're playing something. Go ahead.
okay. When you talk about their interaction with Mahama, right? Kind of right now, I don't trust the Ghanaian president at all. You know,
Never did.
the bilateral cooperation that came out of nowhere with Ukraine for security of their border with drones.
Yes.
The same Mahama having bilateral security agreement with France.
With the UU.
Like I am looking at the government of Ghana right now, and I'm scared. Like
Yes.
Okay. What I'm trying to say now is that at what point did you become suspicious of the relationship? Like, make us understand what you think about that relationship.
Yes. Initially, when I follow these things deeply, 24/7, because my heart is very deeply invested in that land because from my childhood. So I'm not just So when I followed when America started to train all these people, I was very concerned and very worried. I saw it coming. And
America
then
Goita too.
I'm sorry.
America trained Assimi Goita.
Yes, America. No, I know. No. I don't know that. But there was this time America was training a lot of these people.
Florida.
Yes, and that was when all these people began to spring up. So once that happened, I became a bit suspicious. So, but I thought, okay, just don't make any judgment yet. Wait and see how things go. And then when Mahama came, Mahama is obviously a rogue. Anybody can see that. Come on, guys. Mahama, look at Mahama's face. Look at this shit-faced man. This man is a rogue. This man is this man is continuing the Akufo-Addo, business. These guys are working for the US. It's too fucking obvious.
Yes, it's obvious. They have US bases,
yes,
it's all
yes,
about it.
Yes. So when he came, and I saw that Mr. Traore goes to his thing, I'm thinking, okay, what's going on here? This is funny. Doesn't feel good. And since then, you can see that it doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good, doesn't feel good, and it's not good. So why is Traore still, what are they doing? Are they working? Something going on here? Okay, something is funny there. Okay, so you can ignore that too. I can say, okay, Richmond, ignore that. Ignore all of that. But now let me tell you why I'm really suspicious. When those three guys, got together, say, okay, now we have an issue here. Let's unite. Okay, good. That's wonderful. Now, why don't they establish their central bank immediately? That is the most important thing.
The Alliance of Sahel.
Yes.
Well, they have the right now. They have the investment bank.
That's nothing. That's nothing. That's useless. The central bank is the thing. Is the money machine. You can fund yourself with a central bank if you know how. You don't need any idiot loan from anybody. If you know how to use the central bank, are you kidding me? The central bank is your freaking money machine. So why are these guys still letting the France get billions of money from using the that does not make any sense. That makes no sense. Something's wrong with that picture. The first thing they should do, or they should have done, if they were truly serious, is to establish a central bank for all those three countries. Do you know the power in that? Those three countries, that population? Do you know how much power they have there? They have freaking power. And they did not do that. And they still have not. Something tells me they cannot be real. They cannot be real. You know how much money France make every month on that money thing? Africans don't even fucking know how the central bank works and how much money those guys make from using your central bank, controlling your central bank. Wow, these people something's wrong. Something so deeply wrong. I am confused.
But don't you think that if they create their own money right now, if they do their thing, don't you think there will be sanctions? Don't you think that because that CFA franc kind of binds so many African countries together from the Franc-Afrique? Don't you think if they create their own thing right now, don't you think there will be a lot of sanctions to destroy their economy? And
how you have your money, you have a solid base of resources in the ground. You have a solid working population with infinite manufacturing possibilities. You are not a poor land. If you have nobody, no minerals, nobody to work for you, and all you have is paper money, then the central bank is useless. But when you have a great soil, you have minerals in the ground, you have a raw, powerful population of people, you have a gigantic consumer population all around you, the central bank is a fucking machine. It's the power, it's the machine, man. Something is wrong with this, guys.
So what you're saying now is that what we should be pushing to our leaders in the Sahel right now is that they need to work on changing their currency.
They need to establish their currency immediately. Then, if they are serious, next level, if they are serious, I don't think they're serious. I don't think they have a goal. I think they are just, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. Really, I don't know.
No, I think
if they're,
I think the old government, I think the whole regime kind of messed everything up from Damiba to Rockman Kabore to the guys. I think they're kind of building because I have been able to see some vlogs, right? Some vlogs, people that travel to Burkina Faso, and I discovered that this country is in the 18th century, like Captain Ibrahim Traore said, and
yes.
I think it's going to take time. So
Yes.
I think Captain Ibrahim Traore is really doing a lot by pushing
Yes.
the country. So
Yes.
I think maybe they are being calculative with everything. Maybe they are playing chess because if we look at ECOWAS, the whole ECOMOG thing, we don't even know where they are. But these people already have a strategic force
Yes.
of about 6,000 now.
Yes.
So, and they are moving, like they are working with partners that have no colonial history. that have done
Yes.
historical colonization. So um
Yes.
and there was a time there was so much speculation that the people working that they already created a currency called Sira, and their government came
Yes.
deny that there's nothing like that. Is it that they're trying to out chess
Yes.
the countries that are waiting for them to create the currency and do something, or what do you think? I think my perspective, my opinion is that it is a gradual process, and I think that they are getting there, but they are not there yet. I think they are not there yet. I think they still want to create a lot. They would still want to create jobs for their citizens, to empower their
Yeah.
citizen. I
Yes.
don't just want to make that giant leap right now.
Yes. That's kind. That's kind. But they have to understand. This is why I said I don't know what they're doing, because you cannot be going at a pace that is slower than the pace in which your enemies are going.
Hmm.
Your enemies are running. They don't sleep. These people never sleep. They have all kinds of people everywhere, all kinds of ions burning, and you are saying you are no. They don't have to worry about their enemies, because the enemies is listen. Your enemy is nothing if you have a goal. Your enemy cannot stop you. Cannot if you have a goal. Even if you are a bungling fool, your enemy cannot stop you if you see where you're going and you are determined to get there. They cannot stop you. Your central bank, look, man, this something is wrong. I'm telling you, man, something's wrong. Central bank is your engine for development. It's your main engine. When you have the resources that you have so much resources. If you use that to back your money, wow, you are a freaking machine. I don't understand. I'm telling you.
But
Let me tell you one more thing. Go
what if
ahead.
they're trying to improve the security situation to a level where they don't have to worry about any type of incursion or whatsoever before they create? And they were equally talking about having a nuclear energy, civilian energy infrastructure, and they've not
Yes.
that right now. But the everything is in the is in the wood. They are really really working on it. So from my own
Yes.
perspective, I might be wrong. I stand to be
Yes.
corrected. I am looking at
Yes. Yes.
perspective of they want to keep the territory extremely safe before they make these moves. What do you think?
I think it's the wrong direction. I think you need to get the bank, because that's your money, okay? And you need to stop playing this Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali game. You need to make this thing African. You need to bring people who want to join the army from Nigeria, from Ghana, people who are pan, who are blood and soul given to this cause, to bring them in from 80. These guys are wish this is a great opportunity for them to do something amazing.
Okay, so I think that is the point with the VDP, the volunteer defense personnels. I think they are
Yes.
not from Burkina Faso alone. They are from all over.
Are
Yes,
they?
yes,
Oh, really? I didn't
they are
know
from,
that.
they are from all over. I have a Nigerian friend. We went to the same secondary school together.
Hmm?
He's in the Nigerian Navy, uh, just Lagos here, and we talk a lot
Yes.
of time. So he said most of his colleagues, that were not really satisfied with the way the Nigerian thing
So
is.
our army. Yes.
They are
Yes.
currently they
Yes.
are currently part of the VDP of Burkina Faso, and they are really, really.
That's great. They should do more of that. They should do more of that. They should get the money. They should. You see, there are some people in Haiti who are warriors. They don't give a damn about death. They fight to the death. Those kinds of people, wherever they are, black people like that, find them, set up a pan-African army. These guys, if they really want to fight, if they really want to do this work, the people, if they are genuine, let me tell you, if they are genuine and they are fighting against this other people, you know what I mean? They are going to do more to win this fight. because these guys never give up. Never. Okay, let's just be generous. Let's be gracious and say, okay, they are genuine. They are genuinely fighting for us. Let's just give them that. Okay. If that is the case, they are going to have to do a lot more to stop these people. These people and the plan they have. You guys, we are playing. These people do not give up. They will go to their grave. That's their option. For them, it's either they get their plan or they die.
Okay, is that a call to service that all Africa should unite? Is that a call to service?
It's obvious. That's why I'm saying, if they are genuine and they've carved out an independent land, free area of the African continent, that land does not belong to them alone. Only they need to make it. They need to make it clear that it is us against them or they against us, not they against Burkina Faso or Niger or no. If that's the game they are playing, I'm sorry to say they are not going to win it. They are not going to win because unless if they were like, let's say, Iran, and they had 40 years to quietly, develop all that power, then we say, okay, there is hope. But they are not in that position. They are not. They don't control currency. They don't control anything of real consequence. All they have now is their union. There are three of them working together. That's all. That's the power they have now.
But do you think if there was a possibility that they will be able to build anything militarily with the presence of France, without France catching a whiff that they are doing something?
I don't think they need to worry about that if they have the numbers. What they lack in military, like what they lack in military sophistry, like Iran, they have numbers of people in Africa who will go and die for the cause. They have numbers.
Burkina Faso has recently collaborated with Iran, transfer of technology, military bilateral cooperation.
Yes.
But do you believe that they are moving in the right direction? We are not saying they are perfect, but do you think they are moving in the right direction, but slower than you expect?
Well, the thing is not that they are moving in the right direction. The thing is, are they really genuine? And if they are genuine, what do they want to accomplish? If they want to simply maintain their so-called independence of Faso and Mali and Niger, that's not going to fly. They can't. They cannot. If Iran persists, if Iran wins, and America is weakened and retreats, then we have a chance. If America does not retreat, America still, okay, so America says now, US says we've lost Iran, so okay, let's leave Iran alone. Let's go focus on Africa. They have no chance. The only way they have a chance to maintain their so-called freedom if Iran wins and America retreats.
But that is where we are going to. That's the direction we are heading to. If you look at the calculus of the war, I think that's the direction we're going to.
If it pans out that way, then okay, then there's a chance. But ultimately, there are two things that will happen on Earth in the coming years. Either we win or they win. And we winning will not be country. The country is already dead.
It will be the entire race.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So that arrangement will not work. It will have to be all of us, entire race, win against, because essentially, if you look deeply, it's a race war. It's just playing in a funny way. It's a race war. When they decided to capture us into slavery, it was the entire white race that captured us. Wasn't some, oh, sorry, minus Persia, minus Armenia, minus Russia. But minus those three people, it was the entire white race that came after us. So in a way, it is that.
That's
yes.
True.
So we can't win it. So for us to win against them the way it is now, I think all those countries will have to go. In fact, the countries are already dead. They've already accomplished.
What do you think about Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia backing Israel? And even
that's
declaration
that's a great question.
What does that say about our purpose and our goal as a people?
Well, we don't have one. We don't. Okay, and thank you for bringing that up. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you see where those people are, Uganda, Kenya, and Rwanda, where they've been for a long time now. If we are going to win, there will have to be first an internal war between us and them, because they are sabotaging us. If we say we want to be free and they are sabotaging us, what options do we have? What options do we have? So that we fight, or we say, okay, we be slave like them. So we need to become more clear about this. Stop this sentimental bullshit. Really, seriously. If we want to be free and our neighbors say they want to be slave, then we have to make a decision. Which one is going to prevail?
But what I think is, and that is the essence of the Android community, uniting Africa through communication among Africans.
Yes.
Like if you look at the demography of the Android community, we have people from all over the place.
All over. Yes. That's
Ivory Coast. So a lot of people look at unity in Africa as like, okay, the president of Nigeria declaring support for the president. No. I believe that we must unite and recognize that we are brothers. We are brothers in harm. Men, women, So what I'm saying now is, even if the son of Yoweri Museveni in Muhuzi is declaring support for Israel, it doesn't really mean that the entire Ugandan nation really supports what he's saying. Because even if you look at the last election, if it was free and fair, we're not even sure his father will be the president.
Correct.
So I think, first of all, this is what the Android community is actually, gravitating towards, so that we can unite our people. Then at least, even if finding the purpose is the end goal, but we are walking the path already.
Yes. I think that's the key. I think that's the key thing. I'm sorry that I get so.
Yes. I understand.
Yes, the key thing is to identify. This is. I sometimes forget that this is live, right? This is on YouTube.
Live stream.
Well, I didn't want this, but it's okay. I think the goal is to identify like-minded people.
Okay.
Because the whole of Africans will not be on the same page. The entire Africans have never been on the same page.
Yes.
And if you go back in time, it was always Africans who enabled the subjugation of other Africans. It has always been so. It is not just Africans alone who do this. Okay, everybody, Europeans subvert Europeans. Europeans help to subvert Europeans. You have people in the same family. One member, sells the family to buy, bread and butter. So this is the way it has always been. So I think the important thing is the thing that's going to happen is, in fact, it's already happening, that people who are like-minded, people who want to be free, or who are already free, inwardly free, would have to be drawn naturally in their acting, in their doing their stuff. They will be drawn to each other or they would have to vigorously seek each other to do the thing that they need to do to safeguard their freedom, to secure their freedom. And it is not going to be without people getting their hands dirty. Okay, in the coming years, the pressure that is happening in the world will force everybody, it's already even happening, to take a stand. And in
Yes.
taking a stand, you must do something. And so as you say, the thing is to identify those people and to begin to build mentally, at least to start from there, to converge mentally, the force that is going to be needed to, boom, do what we must
Okay.
do.
Last question I have. The last question before we wrap it
Here we
off.
go. Yes.
What in the meantime, how do we address as Nigerians, Burkinabes, Benenua, how do we address this recent escalation of terrorism? How do we address this? Is it by engaging kinetically, by destroying, how do we go about it? Because for me, I kind of think that what is coming is bigger than Africans eliminating Africans.
Yes.
I kind of think there is more ahead.
Yes.
And everybody is useful. All hands needs to be on deck. That's
Yes.
how I see it. But how do you
Yes.
what do you think? What is the solution to this problem that we have right now?
That's a simple one, actually. And it goes back again to the guys in the Sahel, because only the guys in the Sahel, if they are genuine, I keep saying if, they are the only folks in Africa who have the freedom and the space and the military might to go after. I don't call those groups, I do not address those groups as terrorists. Oh, that's all nonsense. People, there's another thing we have to stop to do. We have to stop using the terms that the terms they give us. I don't regard those people as terrorists. It's just a useless, senseless description. If there are people in any part of the land harassing other people and attacking them and destroying them, there's the police. Okay, you said the police is a civil defense force. Okay, cool. The military, what is the function of the military of a place? So protect the people. Okay, and right now, if those people are genuine, they are the only ones who have the military capability and might to destroy these people, these invaders. Okay, these people are, and if I were, I know where I'm going to go now is going to be a bit controversial. But if I was them and I was genuine, I would give Nigeria an ultimatum. If they don't take care of that problem in 2 months' time, we are going to take care of it. There will be no longer boundaries. That boundary will disappear in the air like it never even existed, because all this talk is just talk. Really, they're just talking. If these people are really there and they're destroying things, then I don't understand why we're talking so much. And those guys have the might to do it. It's in their.
I believe they do.
Yes. So let them destroy. Let them go after them wherever they are in Africa. I don't give a damn about those idiotic borders, and wherever they are in Africa, if they can reach them, what? Go after them. What are you waiting for? So I think if they really are serious, why are they not focusing on removing those guys completely from the so-called Nigeria to Libya, wherever they are in the continent, and you can reach them? Do you need someone to permit you to do that? Do you need the permission of the US?
The last time,
No, you don't.
the last time the Niger Republic, the last time they entered Nigeria, they pursued some GATs. They pursued them to the northern part of Nigeria, and they were trying to capture them. The Nigerian military said that it was an encroachment on their territorial sovereignty and stuff like that. That was what it said.
That's nonsense. Doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Doesn't mean anything. The thing is again, goal. You have to define, you have to define the goal, you have to define the parameters. Okay. This is the African continent, not some, partition here, partition there. If we have a problem in the African continent and the people in the partition cannot stop it, we are going to stop it. And that's what they should do. That's what they should do. The thing is, I wonder if, again, okay, let me put it this way. If that was me, that's what I would do. I will go after them, give them an ultimatum, go after them, and resolve this is why I said that this is a very tricky situation we're in. So we have to, from the very beginning, establish what exactly do we want to do? What are we doing? Because that situation cannot continue like that. They're just wasting energy. I think they should just focus on it, follow it to wherever it ends, and if they cap whatever, they just establish a new paradigm, a new Africa. Okay, it's a new Africa, and I think that there's a lot of Africans who will join that movement, who will support them. Yes. They just need to make the offer, open the gate. Let us come in and do this.
Okay. All right. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate your very, very educative, should I call it, I mean, this is beyond talks right now. This is education. I was able to learn a lot, and I believe people in the Android community were able to get a lot of game about our history. Be fighting for, because just neutralizing some bunch of some bunch of elements here and there, it doesn't really solve it's not the root cause of the problem, and it doesn't address anything.
Exactly.
You just continue to neutralize and continue to recruit. It's an endless cycle. So I really
exactly
really Android community, we appreciate your time. We appreciate this $1 billion worth of game that you have been able to give us. And the people in the comments, like what I've seen, a lot of people are saying that you need to become a regular participant in the Android community. So we would really love bring you back, many times to talk about growing geopolitical issues in Africa. So where can we follow you more?
Oh, right now, I'm on the ground. I'm on the ground. Okay. when I come, when I come out of of my cave, then I'll let you guys know.
All right.
But yes, it's amazing. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for reaching out.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye bye. Thanks, guys.
All right.